Computer, see if it lets me. Here we go. Thank you, Jessica. All right, so let's get this started. We're going to continue with the book GoPro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketer Direct Sales Professional. As you guys know, we are in the direct sales industry. We don't just sell solar, guys. We sell solar and we build a team. That is, of course, 100% optional. Some of you guys may only sell solar. But one of the keys to success in this business is to go out there and build a team, right? That is, if you notice the people that are moving the most amount of units, so to speak, most sales, it's because they have a team, right? My team, rather, is approaching 2,000 installs in 3.5 years. And it isn't because I have 2,000 installs, because of the team aspect of the business. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So again, I'm reading right from this book. I'm going to just read some highlighted stuff that I've got. I read this book many years ago, and I'm going to be giving you guys some of my tips as I read some of these things, right? So I'm going to just start from page 93, helping your prospects become customers and or distributors, right? So it says here, this skill is a natural byproduct of following up professionally. As you walk through the exposure after exposure, our goal of education and understanding will be accomplished. But that doesn't mean that the prospect will come out and ask you for the order or the application. It's your job to get them to make a decision. So this can apply to people that we're trying to recruit. This can also apply to people trying to sell solar to, right? How many of us, and I want some interaction from some of the people here that have closed deals, especially the tier threes and mentors. Have you guys been in a position where maybe you asked for the sale and to your surprise, the customer was receptive? Maybe you were a little bit hesitant to ask for the sale, or maybe you didn't know how to ask for it and you ended up asking the right questions, or maybe the wrong question that you meant to for yourself. By the way, somebody needs to put themselves on mute. I hear a lot of background noise. Let me see who it is. All right, looks like you guys fixed it. Thank you. So does anybody want to share an example like that, please? And if not, I will.
What was the example, JC, of when someone doesn't know what to say or knows what to say?
Either you asked the right question and you got the customer, so it surprised you, were like, oh, that worked, I'm getting the sale, they're giving me the information, or you didn't, maybe you talked too much, or you asked the wrong question and you lost the sale.
I can definitely hit on both. I like to talk a lot, and therefore I have to implement certain governors, so to speak, on my verbosity. That's not even a word. See what I mean? So what I do is when I started learning NEPQ, I started understanding how to ask the proper questions. And, for those who don't know what NEPQ is, it's Neural Emotional Persuasion Questions, Jeremy Minor, it's on the Powur platform. Look into it. I simply asked this one closing question that helped me in 80% of my deals. And that is, do you feel like this could be the solution for you? If the client responds yes, you would tell them, well, how so? Or you could say, well, why though? And then what you're doing is you're letting them essentially sell themselves, right? Because if it's coming from them and they're thinking about why they're benefiting, it's coming out of their brain. It's not coming out of my mouth. So that's a huge thing that helped me close 80% of my sales after I learned that.
I love it. What was the question again, please? And Jessica, can you put this question that he asked in the chat, please?
Okay, so the question would be, do you feel like this could be the possible solution for you, JC?
Okay.
So notice the pausing. There's the inflection, the intonation. But anyways, that's the question. And just ask it like a human. Like, do you feel like this could be the solution for you? And be a little concerned. And once they say yes, well, why though? And then they're going to go into why it's the solution, because they need to validate being on the same thing that they said. They said it could be the solution, so they need to back that up, essentially.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and so I think a lot of people lack finding the right questions to ask to get the close, right? Because we're talking about helping your prospects become customers or distributors. Remember, here's the deal. You're closing. Both selling solar and recruiting people are sales. A lot of people make the have a misunderstanding. They say, oh, like sometimes you got great salespeople that say, oh, it's because I'm not a recruiter. You don't understand. Recruiting is selling. You're selling people on an opportunity. You're selling people on making more money. You're selling people on time freedom, right? It's a sale. So it doesn't make sense when people say that. So I want to make that clear. So you take those things out and you realize, hey, it's just sales, right? So with that being said, I love the question that you asked. It's a great closing question, right? I remember I was doing a Zoom with somebody, a new consultant, and I think it was her first lead. It was Anna. Her name is Anna. So as I'm talking to the husband and wife, I noticed, because as a sales professional, you got to be able to read the room. You got to be able to read the prospect, right? So I noticed that they're both leaning and they're both nodding. Then at the end, they realized, I think I showed them in the proposal how much money they save over the next 25 years. And I asked them, can you guys see how this, over the course of time, you're going to save $150,000 over the next 25 years? And keep in mind that that is assuming that your utility bill only increases by 4% per year. Could you guys see how we come to these numbers? They both look at each other and they're in agreement and they're happily looking at these numbers. They say, yes, I knew at that point it's time to wrap this up. I say, awesome. At this point, what we do, Mr. So-and-so and so-and-so, is we take a little bit of basic information. And the cool thing about our system is that it is a soft credit check. So it's not going to affect your credit at all, for us just to check to see if you qualify. Does that sound fair enough? Boom. Does that sound fair enough? Yes, bam. As soon as they say, yeah, that sounds good, I just click on the qualify button and I proceed to ask the questions, right? Sometimes the application may ask for the social security number before they ask for the date of birth. I will skip the social security number and I will ask for the date of birth first, because I want to ease on into the personal information. Is this making sense to anybody? Okay. So I like to ease on in, right? I don't like to lead in with the social security. It's kind of like, whoa, that's a lot. More people are more open to giving you their date of birth than they are to giving you their social security number. So I want to gradually get them there, right? So anyways, asking, you guys are going to see in this chapter.
JC, you're muted.
Sorry about that, guys. Same thing with recruiting. And we're going to ask, I'm going to give you guys 4 questions from this book to ask when closing somebody on the business, right? Somebody took a look at the opportunity. So let's keep going. The key success in this area is a combination of having good posture and asking good questions. That is key. You guys got to take a note of this. The key success in this area is a combination of having good posture and asking good questions. Good posture means the way that you carry yourself. The words and actions will help your prospect feel more confident about joining your opportunity or buying your product, or they will plant a seed of doubt. So your posture, whether it's good or bad, is either going to make them feel more confident towards you, or they're going to plant a seed of doubt. If your posture is weak, if you're hesitant, if you haven't practiced, if you haven't been to training, if you're winging it, if you're not prepared, then your posture is not going to be good. And doesn't matter whether you're selling the opportunity or selling a solar system. So let's keep going. First, I learned that professionals are emotionally detached from the outcome. Professionals are emotionally detached from the outcome. Write this down for your notes. And by the way, you should always have notes ready to be taken. Don't just get on here and rely on your memory. Unless you are some kind of super genius with incredible memory, I recommend that you take notes. Here's a note I want you to take. And this is something that comes from sales in general, but especially from recruiting and team building. Amateurs convince, professionals sort. Amateurs try to convince their friend, their family member, on why they should do the opportunity. But listen, don't you understand, Calvin? There's 90 million homes that qualify for zero down solar, and less than 4 million have gone solar. There's 86 million. I don't know how you don't see that, bro. Like, trust me, come with me. That's weak posture. Now, check this out. There's a difference between weak posture and confident posture, saying almost the same thing. So now I'm going to say the same thing, similar, but my posture is going to be different. Calvin, look, I recognize that you don't really see the opportunity, but I will say this one more thing to you. And frankly, Calvin, if you see it, great. If you don't see it, no big deal. But keep this in mind. There's about 90 million homes in America that qualify for zero down solar. Less than 4 million have gone solar. That means that there's 86 million homeowners that need what we've got. They're going to go solar whether you and I like it or not, whether we're involved in this industry or not. Okay? There's a huge opportunity here. And the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying right now, bros, because I'm not giving up on you just yet. But if after you know this information and everything I showed you, this is still not for you, no big deal. But I want to make sure, Calvin, that you know all the information because I'm going to the top with or without you. You're my buddy. I'd rather do it with you than without you. Do you guys see the difference? I'm trying to recruit them into my business. I'm a recruiter. I've recruited about 200 personals into Powur between my wife's position and myself in the last 3.5 years, about 200 personals. There's about 1,600 active in my team. Okay? Because I am relentless. I am the word enthusiasm. The last couple of letters, ISM. I am sold myself. I'm sold myself. I am sold about the opportunity, about the solar opportunity, about the power opportunity. I am sold. I am the solar hero. That's why I created, you guys know, I'm the one that created these shirts, by the way. Oh, by the way, little plug. We got a bunch of these shirts available and jackets, sweater jackets available for sale. So you guys want to make sure you contact Jessica for those of you guys that want them. A lot of you guys have been texting me periodically, and I keep saying I'm going to mention it on this call, and I don't. Get your shirts. There's no reason for you to be advertising Adidas or Nike or something like that. You should have 5 T-shirts that you wear to the gym, that you wear out and about, that you wear on the weekend instead of Nike doesn't pay you. Now, if you come and tell me that Nike pays you, Adidas pays you, that makes sense. Anyways, enough of the plug. So here's the deal. If you are not sold yourself, now check this out. How can you be sold? This is key. How can you be sold? Well, I'll tell you how you cannot be sold, how you're not going to be sold. If you are wishy-washy and temporarily motivated, that means that you hardly ever show up. You show up to training when it's convenient. You show up to training when it's a good topic. If you are inconsistent, you're not going to be sold. If you're not doing the business, doing the daily activities, you're not going to be sold. But if you are in the trenches and you see yourself continuing to grow your prospect list, even if you don't have any recruits this month, but you're growing your prospect list, then eventually you start to get some recruits. You start to get the sales. Why? Because you are consistent with the business. You start to see the growth in yourself and in your business. You start to be sold yourself. Enthusiasm, last 3 letters. I'm sold myself. So when I'm talking to people about this opportunity, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, I got the best opportunity. The only way, here's how I feel. The only way that this opportunity could be any better is if I created it myself. And I'm not creating it. There's no better opportunity. That's how I feel. Does that mean that that will be the case for every one of my prospects? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it helps my posture when I'm recruiting people. So let's keep moving. First, I learned that a professional is emotionally detached from the outcome. In other words, their goal is education and understanding while helping a prospect make a decision that will positively impact their life. They are the opposite of needy. They aren't trying to get to, quote unquote, get anybody. They are honestly just trying to help. That leads me to, write this down, commission breath. This is super important that you know this. Commission breath. Listen, I'm a grown ass man. I'm 40 years old. Okay. I'm a grown man. I've got and in my 40 years, I've got more experience, I would say, than the average 40-year-old, especially in this industry. I grew up in this industry. At 18 years old, I got started in the network marketing industry. And I failed my first 10 years horribly. For the first 12 years, for the first 11 years, I couldn't rub 2 nickels together in this business. But I caught the dream. And I'll say this to you. Commission breath is a very real thing. And in my 22 years of this industry, I've experienced commission breath personally. And I've seen people with commission breath over and over and over. So some of you guys may know what it is. Some of you guys may not. Here's what commission breath is. Commission breath is when you're trying to get a recruit or you're trying to get a sale because you need the money. So therefore, you have your posture is terrible. It is a bad posture. You come across needy because you need the money. And most of the time is because people are inconsistent with their business and inconsistent with their actions. I've met people in my team, in my office, which I will be in 30 minutes, okay, where I've sat down with people with a lot of potential and I say that, how do you order the shirt? Contact Jessica. Jessica, put your contact information in the chat and so you can contact me. So here's the deal. I've had conversations with people. I say, listen, you've got 6 deals on the way to install. Congrats. They're like, yeah. And I said, and I noticed that you're already counting your money. And in counting your money, you're also not doing the things. These are the things that got you to the 6 sales in the pipeline. These things you're not doing anymore, or you're doing very little of it. If you do not listen to me, this is many years of experience, 2 decades of experience in sales. Okay. You will end up one day where you realize, oh man, I got one more install to go. And I don't got nothing else in the pipeline. And I got bills stacked up. And you're going to end up with commission breath. So now your posture, when you're talking to people, you're going to get a less percentage of the people to pull the trigger with you. You know why? Because they will sense and smell your desperation. One of the keys about the most disciplined, most professional sales professionals is, guess what? Because they're so consistent and they're so disciplined, they're constantly building their pipeline. So when they meet with new people, their closing ratio is higher. You know why? Because they do not have commission breath. Because they are emotionally detached. They still give it their all. Of course, they still want the sale. But they're not going to be crushed if they don't get the sale. Same thing with a canceled deal. Sometimes you got, oh my God, I got 2 deals left. All that money is accounted for. Boom, one of them cancels. Now I'm spiraling down. Same thing with my recruiting. Yes, I need a new recruit, man. I got to build this business. I got to build my overrides, but I got commission breath. So therefore, I don't recruit as good as I would. I should have been consistent for the last 3 months. I should have been consistent for the last 6 or 12 months. Like JC and the leadership told me, now I got commission breath. And let me tell you something, commission breath is worse than morning breath. It is worse than morning breath, dude. Some of y'all, and again, and I take pride in being that guy, I'm that trainer that ain't the nice guy. Because you don't need the nice guy, because guess what? I learned a long time ago. Nice guys finish last. That is a fact. Nice trainers aren't doing you any favors. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. Some of y'all on here are not where you want to be. And I'm gonna show you where the problem is. Turn on your camera on your phone and point it towards you. That is the reason why your bank account has what it has, why your pipeline shows what it shows, and why your team size shows what it shows. We are the reason, not the economy or the company or a project manager. We all got the same project managers. We all got the same company. There is no picture of you in the corporate office that says, do not pay this person. Doesn't exist. Are there problems? Yes, there is. You know what solves a lot of the problems? More sales, more prospects, more activity. So come on, man. I've done this too. We get a pipeline going, and then all of a sudden, I got a little pipeline. I'm going to take my foot off the gas. I mean, I haven't been consistent, not even for a whole year. Not even for a whole year, but I'm going to take my foot off the gas. Let me give you guys a little tip. Making more money doesn't mean that you're smarter. This is a misconception. We're talking leadership here. Very often, people think, well, I'm making more money than before. Therefore, I am smarter. I can make better decisions than I can before. No, it's not what it means. It's not, trust me, I've seen it. Very often when people start making more money, they automatically think that they're just smarter. They think that more money is evidence that they're smarter. No, it just means that maybe you got a better vehicle. Maybe you are a little bit smarter, sure. But for the most part, it isn't as much smart as people think that it is. My point is that they think that they're smarter than the the tangible, basic philosophies of success, which is a discipline and consistency. Hey, man, discipline and consistency. You don't want to know who the people are that are going to make $1 million a year? Are the ones that have a DMO, daily method of operation, and they do not veer away from the DMO. Oh, wow, I used to make $5,000 a month. I'm making 15 grand a month now. I'm gonna follow my daily method of operation. I'm gonna be the most coachable. And I'm gonna listen to my mentor. I'm gonna keep doing my daily method of operation. Is that daily method of operation gonna adjust over time? Yes. You know why? Because now, in the beginning, you didn't have a pipeline to manage. Now you got a pipeline to manage. So you got to allocate some time. But in the beginning, there's no some people don't even have 2 deals in the pipeline, and they spend more than an hour a week on pipeline management. It's like, bro, you don't need to spend that much time on pipeline management. Maybe 2 hours, an hour per project per week should be the most that you spend on pipeline management. It's just how it is, and that's a lot. Then eventually, once you get to 10 pipeline deals in your pipeline, guess what happens now? Now it would be a good idea for you to probably hire a virtual assistant out of the Philippines, out of Mexico, out of another country, and pay them $5 an hour part-time, $20 a day. So you could focus on MMA. And I'm not talking about mixed martial arts. I'm talking about money-making activities. What are those money-making activities? Recruiting, selling, training to recruit and sell. Those are the ABCs of this business. In that order, by the way. This is top mentor 2 years in a row, right? This year, I said I'm not going to be top mentor. I guarantee you I would be top mentor. Nobody would beat me if I wanted to be the top mentor. Guaranteed. Some people may be thinking, this guy's arrogant. You're entitled to think whatever you want. Does not matter. I am not going to lose any sleep over that. That is why I wait. I am confident and I am bold enough to say what I believe. And you don't have to believe it. That's fine. But here's my point. Recruiting, selling, and training to sell and recruit. So let's keep moving. Third, it was interesting to learn that they promote themselves as much as they promote the product or opportunity. What I mean by this is that they help. What I mean by that is that they help the prospect make a decision by saying, you get me, meaning the prospect says, you get me, you understand me. This goes to show what Ramsey was talking about earlier, where he asks the questions. He helps him come to the conclusion that you understand them. He helps them come to the conclusion that, yes, indeed, this is something that can fix my problems. This could certainly be the solution for me. When they promote themselves, this isn't like, I'm going to do everything for you. That's not what it means. It's more like, we have a great product and a great opportunity, but I'm going to take this thing to the top and we can do it together. So he's really talking especially about the recruiting side. This is mainly a recruiting book. I am adding my 2 cents to also talk about sales, right? This gives people great comfort in knowing that they don't have to learn everything on their own. Fourth, they are always prepared. That's an easy one. Always have everything that they need to get a person started right on the spot. I always have my bag wherever I go, and my computer is in that bag. I've got my pens in there. I've got my notepad in there. I've got my to-do list in there. Wherever I'm at, I could go ahead and get a sale close. For example, tomorrow is October 31st. 3 years ago exactly, tomorrow will be the day that I bought I got 2 leases for my wife and I. At the dealership, we're in LA, dealership is in San Diego, 2 hours away. By the way, those of you guys that were in the public speaking masterclass, notice how I always incorporate stories. That's one of the keys that you got to master as a public speaker. Anyways, just a little side note for those of you guys. Those of you guys that didn't make it, that course will be available for sale for $49 next week. So here's my point. Tomorrow marks 3 years that I got those cars. We're talking about being prepared. While at the dealership, I already negotiated my car, got it. My wife is inside signing. You know, you guys know the car buying process is a lot of hours. I'm in my new car. It's got Wi-Fi and everything. From my phone, from my cell phone, I closed 2 deals. Matter of fact, at least one of those deals, it might have been both, was somebody that's on here. I remember specifically, it was Lily De Silva. Lily De Silva is on here right now. October 21st, excuse me, October 31st, 2020, I closed a mentor deal for you. That day from the dealership, I closed 2 deals from my cell phone inside my car because I got the PowerPoint in my cell phone. The client at the end was like, wait a minute, you've been on your cell phone the whole time? Because I showed them the same PowerPoint that I show on my computer. They don't know what kind of device I'm on. And I closed 2 deals from the dealership in San Diego, California, while my wife was signing for her car after I had already got my car. Okay? Why? Professionals are always prepared. Here's my question. Do you have your presentation ready? Do you have your tools, whatever those tools may be, ready to conduct business? Or and any of these other things, right? Some people, they don't even have a PowerPoint presentation to recruit or to sell. So let's go. And fifth, they ask questions after questions after questions and are great listeners. They act like a consultant in helping a person with a problem. The best consultants in the world have to ask a bunch of questions before they can offer a solution. Direct sales professionals use questions as their most powerful tool. As their most powerful tool. Okay? So let's talk about the questions, he says. In working to help prospects make a positive decision about your opportunity, you're gonna do the same thing. But instead of asking, what did you think? So we're talking about somebody that wants to learn about they already learned about the opportunity. Let's say they watched tonight's webinar at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, or a pre-recorded, doesn't matter, or a live presentation, doesn't matter. The last question that you should ask that prospect is, what did you think? You don't ask that question. What did you think opens up to both positive or negative? What did you think? It was too long. What did you think? You know what? It's confusing. But instead, if you ask, did this make sense to you? Yes. What did you like best about what you saw? Pretty exciting, isn't it? So I'm just giving you examples. So the way that I ask the questions is, you take a look at the presentation. I say, Jonathan, check this out. I want you to watch this presentation, brother. And once you're done with that presentation, let me know. We'll get on the phone to answer your questions. Does that sound fair enough? Yes. Great. Jonathan, by when do you think you would have already watched that presentation, Jonathan?
In the next 30 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So it's 10:30 now. So how about this? Why don't we say I have an 11 a.m. meeting. I'll be done by about 12:30. Okay. Would you be available at 12:30?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So that's in an hour and a half from now, approximately, right? No, that's 2 hours from now. So what I'll do is I'll give you a call. We'll get your questions answered. So then I call them at 12:30. Hey, Jonathan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, JC?
Everything is great, man. Everything's great. Just finished my meeting, brother. Okay, man. Listen, I know you're busy and I got to run to another meeting as well. But I want to make sure that I get on here and answer your questions, right? So you say you took a look at the presentation already?
Yes, sir, I did. I actually watched it.
Awesome. Pretty good stuff, huh?
Yeah, no, excellent, excellent. I do have a couple questions with this,
Sure.
So the $99 that you pay, what is that for? The $99 and then the 85 a month. What does that include?
So the $99 is to get you set up, right? They get you set up with your own back office. It's basically like your own CRM, your back office. You can track all your sales, talk to your project managers, get your proposals through there. You could track your team and your sales, right? So that's a setup to get you set up initially, and also with they give you like 4 or 5 websites. And then the 85 monthly is basically your overhead to run your nationwide solar business. See, one of the things I want you to know, Jonathan, is that when you get started with Powur, you're not joining to be just a sales rep with a company. You essentially, for 85 bucks a month, have your own nationwide solar business for 85 bucks a month.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You know, that's cheap for a business, right?
Oh yeah. Let's say he gives me some objection about that, right? I had a Sunrun rep once tell me, you know, that's interesting. I get it, but see, with Sunrun, bro, like they don't charge us anything to be a part of Sunrun, and you know, matter of fact, they give us a bunch of free shit. Excuse the word, but that's what he said. I'm quoting what the guy said. I said that sounds fair enough. Let me ask you this question. Remember, questions to guide them in the direction you want to get them to. Let me ask you this question. How much money did you make on your last sale with Sunrun? So he says about 3,000 bucks. I said, well, look, I'd be happy to show you how much money you would make on that particular sale. My guess is you're going to make 5,000 or 6,000 on the exact same sale. And we actually did. But right now, I don't have time to, you know, put that lead in, right? So I enter the lead. Literally for this guy, I entered the lead. I priced it out the way he priced it out, gave him the same deal that he gave his customer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. With us, it was 6,000. Now I use a story. So anyways, I tell him, when we come to the conclusion with us, bro, so you made $3,000 on your last sale. How many sales do you make on average per month? He says 3. So that's $9,000 a month you make on average. Yes. Great. So that means that with us, according to the numbers that we just saw, you're making 6,000 instead of 3,000 per sale. So that means that you're leaving literally $9,000 on the table. Let me ask you something, bro, Jonathan. Are they giving you $9,000 worth of free shit at Sunrun? I use that word because that's the word he used, right? This is some young guy door knocker. And he laughs and he says, no, I'm not. I was like, yeah, brother, listen, for 85 bucks a month, the reason why the company is able to pay us such big commissions that are almost unheard of, as you can see the difference between these and, you know, ours and yours, is because they don't need to make a lot of money on our sales. So therefore, think about it. They pay you 70% out of the 30%. They don't even keep that 30%. Half of it they pay in overrides. So some people ask, how's that possible? How can Powur keep their doors open with such little margins? Well, they got 9,000 people paying 85 bucks a month. So we're like the Costco model. See, that is the reason why you're paying, not only to have your own nationwide solar business, but to have access to the wholesale cost. Whatever you sell above wholesale, you keep 70%. Now, I've done this once or twice, right? But I use stories all the time. I ask questions to get to where I want to get to, right? And also notice the posture. When I'm talking to people, my posture is strong posture. It's not weak posture, right? So after they watch the opportunity, do not ask, what did you like best? Rather, pretty good stuff, huh? Is how I ask 2 questions. Pretty good stuff, huh? They say yes. Then I get into, awesome. What did you like best about what you saw, right? So did it make sense to you? What did you like best about what you saw? Pretty exciting stuff, huh? Can you see how this could be an opportunity for you? That's an easy one. Hey, Manuel, pretty good stuff, huh? He says yes. Awesome, bro. Did you see how this could be did you see how this could be a good opportunity for you, Manuel? No, shut up. Just like in any sales, you ask a closing question and you shut up. You wait for them to answer. He's gonna say yes or he's gonna say no. Okay. So then I like to say, let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 meaning that you have 0 interest and 10 being that you are ready to get started right now, where are you? This is a good way. It's like, oh, you know, let's say you don't know where to go. Hey, what did you like best? Oh, the money sounds good. Great. A good segue to get into the closes. Let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning that you have 0 interest, 10 meaning that you are ready to get started today, where would you see yourself? Do you guys see how that question can help you guys out? They're going to give you a number, and it's usually obvious from the number that they give you. Either they need more information before they make a decision, or they're leaning towards getting started now. This could also work with the homeowner. If you feel that they need more information, guide them to the next exposure and help them help promote the next exposure. This is for the opportunity, right? So I'm going to get into the 4 closing questions, and we're going to wrap up with these 4 closing questions. Question number 1, based on what you have just seen, if you were to get started with this company on a part-time basis, approximately how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? So instead of asking questions Most distributors say things like, for example, how would you like to make $10,000 per month, right? Or, by the way, I'm reading the book. Don't do that. Instead of prescribing what you think that they want, ask them what it would take to make it worth their time. So based on what you've just seen right now, if you were to get started with this company on a part-time basis, approximately how much money would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? What if they say to you, if I can earn an extra $2,000 per month, an extra $3,000 per month, it'd be worth my time. Great. Second question, approximately how many hours would you commit each week to develop that kind of income? Now they have to go inside their head and check their mental calendar to see how much time they would invest to make that kind of money. So first is how much money would it be worth it? Second, how much time would they be willing to commit to make that money? Question 3, how many months would you work those kind of hours in order to develop that kind of income? This question makes them think about their level of commitment and if they want their level of commitment, if they want the income from question number 1. So how much money, how many hours, and how much time will it give this business, right? Don't think it's going to happen month 1, right? Question number 4, if I could show you how to develop an income of whatever they mentioned per month, working X amount of hours they mentioned, per week over the course of X amount of time that they mentioned, would you be ready to get started? Most of the time, you'll get a positive answer. Okay, so I recommend that you all get this book. I don't get paid for promoting this book. I'm just sharing with you guys. This is a good framework for you to go out there and ask the questions, because at the end of the day, you got to learn how to recruit. Recruiting, in my opinion, in this company, recruiting is more important than selling. The people that can build and duplicate a team are worth more money to the owner, Jonathan Budd, and the company than the people that can sell. They're both very important, but here's the deal. One individual can only sell so much, but a team builder can make thousands. If I just came in here 3 years ago and I only focused on selling solar, I would not have 1,900 installs 3.5 years in. Impossible. Impossible. I've closed over 300 sales myself. 70 of those are not installed yet. 230 personal sales that I close are installed, approximately. But I'm approaching 2,000. Not because of my sales abilities, but because of my team building abilities. The name of the book, ladies and gentlemen, is called Go Pro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. Okay, by Eric Worre. You can find it online as well, Audible, right? I like to have the books. I like to highlight them, as you guys see. So, can you send pictures of those questions? Yes, I'm going to send pictures of these questions in the WhatsApp group right after we're done. Our WhatsApp group, and I'm going to put them on Facebook as well. Okay, these are great questions for you to ask people. And also, not only are you asking questions to get the close, to get them to commit, but you're also setting some goals for them right now that you go hold them accountable with these questions that they answer themselves. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to open this up for 5 minutes for questions, and then we're going to wrap this up. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap this up?